I have patients that, absolutely. That it went off in their hand or something and they were injured in multiple ways.
Sure.
And hearing loss is one of those ways.
A friend comes up to you with a bottle rocket next to your head.
Yeah.
That's
we
a
see
common
this kind of crazy stuff.
Welcome to the Ask an Audiologist podcast. Real audiology white papers and real audiology topics explained to you by real audiologists and a guy who isn't. Now here are your hosts, Dr. Jordan Strong, Dr. Michael Squires, and Kevin Ziener.
Welcome back to an exciting new episode of Ask an Audiologist. I am your host, Kevin Ziener, and
I'm Dr. Jordan Strong.
And I'm Dr. Michael Squires.
All three of us in one place at one time. They said it couldn't be done, and here we are. We managed to sync our schedules to be here all at once to bring you the best audiology-related content possible. Thank you guys for hanging up your otoscopes for a little while and coming on down so that we could actually finally do this all as a group.
Yeah, excited to be here. It's cool.
Because we've all been together individually or as a tandem. You guys were at AAA together, then we obviously do the podcasts in tandem. So this is an exciting new version of Ask an Audiologist that we all get to be a part
when we
of.
were in AAA, we even said that. It would be really fun to kind of all get in the same room and knock out some of this content because it's a lot easier and more interesting in my perspective to bounce ideas off of you and hear your perspective and how you do things because we're in different areas of the country. Doing the same thing in theory, but in different areas. Yeah. So I love to hear your experiences as well.
And I think our audience appreciates it because I don't have to talk nearly as much. I can just let the conversation exist over here.
Those are the emails that I get.
I will, the emails that we all receive, less Kevin, more everybody else. And I just will now, poke my head up to ask the most obvious question that probably everybody else is asking along the way. Will be my only goal this entire time that we do this.
So we're going down rabbit holes over here, so keep us on track.
So this is the first week of July, which means July 4th, I believe, is on a Wednesday. So it would make sense that given this celebratory season, which we are celebrating by all being together, but this obviously very loud holiday, that we can talk about some hearing protection as it relates to attending fireworks or attending parties, something to that effect, because obviously there's loud noises mixed with some levels of inebriation, and so people aren't necessarily always hear care minded when it comes to that. There's a few things that I may remember about 4th of July. Make sure we're standing like 500 feet away from fireworks, right? Even if it's like a professionally put on display.
Especially
but if we have our own, I also probably would emphasize we're not keeping an M80 in our hands or only standing 10 feet away from them.
That's just in general. That has nothing to do with your ears. Just don't hold it.
So the distance is key. And then of course, like the decibel level of an exploding firework is that equivalent to that of like a jet engine.
I think it's important for people to know that what most people consider loud is already way too loud.
Sure.
Our research in audiology is pointing to things like hair dryers as being too loud because we've got them right here. You've got them right here. And so when we look at something like fireworks, especially professional level fireworks, I mean, these are like the big guys.
Right.
Then, in general, just from a safety perspective, we're back away from that, but they're so loud.
Totally.
The decibel level is way louder than what we should be exposing our ears to in general, especially for kids.
Yeah.
This is generally something that we see families going to, look, let's go to the fireworks. But put some hearing protection on those little ones and wear some hearing protection yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pop. You're not going to miss anything.
And both of you live in states, West Virginia and Louisiana respectively, where firework sales are very common. I live in a dry state, Nevada. Everything catches on fire here. So it's sparklers and the little worms. That's that's what we get, right?
Yeah.
But I imagine it's the full cadre for all of you.
We get the full gamut.
And so the hazard around that, and this is not a shot at your states and the citizenry within them, is exponential at that point from potentially losing your hearing, if not a finger, right?
Because it's just yeehaw. 4th of July.
Because it just takes one. It just takes one loud sound close enough to
Yeah.
just permanently ruin
Yep,
hearing.
one accident.
yeah.
I have patients
Oh,
that,
absolutely.
that it went off in their hand or something and they were injured in multiple ways.
Sure.
And hearing loss is,
Oh, yeah.
is one of those ways.
A friend comes up to you with a bottle rocket next to your head.
Yeah,
You know, I
I
mean,
mean,
Yeah.
that's
we
a
see
common
this kind
one.
of
Yeah.
crazy stuff.
After
happen.
one too many day beverages, we're firing
Yeah.
what are those things? Candles,
the
Roman,
Roman
candles
candle
at
wars.
each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So when everybody still has their wits about them, and maybe it's July 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, what are some things that if they really are cognizant about wanting to protect their hearing, that they can pack in their backpack to go to these festivities or go to a barbecue or something to that extent?
Yeah, I mean, just grabbing a set of earmuffs or just getting the little foam inserts.
sure.
You know, you can pick those up and you can buy them by a box of 200 if you wanted.
Yeah.
And they've got them just about everywhere. You know, they're super easy. One thing I will say about those is that most people don't put them in correctly.
Okay. Tell us how do you
I
put
know.
them
I wish
in?
I had one here
I know.
to use, but
Nope.
those little, everybody knows the little foam squishy inserts. For those, you want to really make sure that you smush it down, squeeze it as much as you can, and then as you're putting it in, after you've smushed it down, you want to be able to pull your ear back and then put it into the ear.
Because you're opening your ear canal a
Correct.
little
So
bit.
it's opening that ear canal up so that when you put it in there, that foam is going to expand and actually occlude the ear and protect the ear as much as possible.
Got it.
Yeah.
Continue.
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
I see so many pictures after the
I
4th
know,
of July where it
yeah.
looks like a little Cheeto is sticking out of people's ears because they don't have it in their ear deep enough and
Got it.
it's not doing anything for you.
Yeah,
And those all come in different sizes, right? It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
just a one size. I mean, technically it's one size fits
Yeah.
all, but there are smaller to larger variations.
Yeah. Sometimes you can find a box of different sizes.
Got it.
Yeah.
a tip that I always give, the pulling the ear back doesn't only open up the ear canal, but it straightens it out a little
Right.
bit.
Oh, okay.
So a portion of our ear canal is cartilaginous, and then a portion of our ear canal is just skin on bone.
Yeah.
It's the part that actually enters into the skull. But if you take that lower third of the ear and kind of pull it, like if you're facing forward, down and towards your shoulder, it'll kind of straighten that ear
Yeah.
canal out. So like what Dr. Jordan's saying, if you get it squished down and it's straight, and you push it in there into a straight canal, then when
lot
you
easier.
let go, it'll conform to the bend.
Got it.
I also like to hold it in place while it's
it's
expanding.
expanding.
Got it.
Because the next thing you know, if you put it in there and then let go of it, it kind of wiggles its way out.
Is
It looks
there
like a Cheeto.
is there an appreciable difference between the foam ones and like those gel, the little?
The wax ones?
Yeah.
The wax
Yeah.
ones are generally made for swimming. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
love them because they accumulate all kinds of crap.
Sure.
They're meant to be like a
Bacteria.
one size or a one-time use,
Got
but
it.
we know people don't
Yeah.
use them one time because
Yeah.
they get bacteria
Sure.
in them and
Yeah.
dirt and hair
Yeah.
and just, they're so
But and then
gross.
they put them back into like the case or
Yeah,
something, and then
no,
it just
sure.
it's wet and it just gets
It's
moldy and
horrific.
gross. Yeah.
Don't
Don't
do
use
that.
that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that any more than one time.
Okay, yeah. So I mean,
Use it
so for instance,
for swimming, it has no
I was going to say
value
it
in
does a really
noise.
solid seal, right? So if you are going to be around loud noises for at least one moment, using those is probably more effective than the foam ones. But if you're going to habitually use one, it's the
I don't
foam.
like them at all for noise.
For
they don't have
noise,
any
yeah.
noise reduction
Oh,
rating.
okay.
The material that they're made of is meant for sealing off from water.
Got
and
it.
they're not meant for noise reduction.
Right.
So
Okay.
the
Yeah.
high density foam, that expandable foam, is much more attuned to lowering down that noise.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. There's some people that they're like, well, those foam inserts never work for me. They always fall out of my ears. Well, I mean, granted, day of isn't probably the best idea, but if you can think about it before that,
Sure.
then you can always come in to see an audiologist and have custom earplugs made.
Got it.
Well, now you can use them for all kind of different things.
Sure.
You know,
And
if you
custom's great.
right, they're so nice. I mean, you can pick out different colors and
Yeah.
they're fun and all the things, but
You can clean 'em.
yeah, and you can clean them.
As we wind this down, and you think about the 4th of July, what is your favorite 4th of July activity? What is the thing that you look forward to that you do every year or that you used to do? What's the thing where you're like, this, I always look forward to this? Because I actually am not a firework guy. The novelty of fireworks is cool, but I feel like fireworks have been fireworks for the last 100 some odd
Yeah.
years. So what is something that you guys enjoy doing?
I would say it's just the general day before the fireworks stuff
Okay.
that I really enjoy, like the grilling and going,
Yeah.
to the beach or, getting in the pool or whatever.
Got
Just
it.
the family day.
The
Really
revelry
good.
of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
family.
yeah.
I think that's changed a little bit for me in the past couple of years because we have 3 small kids, and so we go out back and play in the hose, and we have all of our animals out, and
Sure.
it's we live on a small farm, so it's just kind of a free for all for the whole day out in
Yeah.
the hot sun, and we're grilling and we're
Yeah.
eating. It's just that family time.
Yeah.
I will say one other thing about the 4th of July that we all need to keep in mind, just in terms of noise, is there's a lot of veterans. There are a lot of animals who are really traumatized by the after effects of noise. And so as we're lighting, our fireworks, just be cognizant of our veterans out there and of our animals, and just making sure that we're taking that into consideration, because it does affect people in different ways.
Absolutely.
And animals in different ways.
Yes.
That was a professional statement right there about somebody who cares. We thank you for that. To learn more about how loud noises can negatively affect your hearing, head on over to askanaudiologist.com. And this has been awesome. I'm literally so excited that we are finally all in one room doing this. This has felt way too long coming.
Yeah,
Starting
as
off
the
with a
first
bang.
time that we're doing this,
Yeah,
it's really
starting
exciting.
out with a bang. I'm so happy that we're here.
Yeah.
Clap on 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
You can find more information at askanaudiologist.com, and you can follow us on all our social channels at Ask an Audiologist. The information provided on this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not substitute for professional medical advice.